So today I'll be showing you a little bit what to expect from Dredge, which is a new game from Team 17 and Black Thought Studios that will come out at the end of March 2023. So today we are the 21st of February, so it's a month ahead of the release, but the game is pretty much ready, I think, to ship, and I don't think it will change a lot until the end of March. So I will show you the game where I'm at right now, about 10 hours through the game. So it's not the beginning, but there's no it's going to be big spoilers or anything, I think. So what you do is typically in Dredge is you control this boat that you see on the screen here, and you can basically move around into oceans or seas around you and look for fishes and stuff to make money, basically. And you control that with your gamepad or keyboard and mouse. And you can see here, for example, there is this spot, which is this top water, as they call it, and you can start fishing. And when you fish, you basically have this mini game on the left side that lets you grab stuff, as you go around. And you have to time, the click of a button to make sure it matches with the zone. And then it makes the process faster. If you don't do it, it still works, but it's going to take longer. And time is a important element because at night things become dangerous at sea. So you are not recommended to stay outside at night because of strange things happening. And the whole thing about strange things happening is that you want to find out why this area has become this way. You want to understand why there are some mutated fishes swimming around, why there are some dangers at sea at night. And so the whole, the point of the game is to find out, the mysteries around this archipelago where you landed after damaging a boat. Here showing you inside the harbor, one of the main harbor where you start. You can actually sell your fishes here, as I was showing you here just now. You can modify your ship, buy some new parts. You can see here you have rods to fish different kind of fishes, and you can see some of them have, in the middle of the screen you see like shallow, volcanic, mangrove, coastal description. Those means depending on the area you will be able to use those specific rods to fish, at certain depths or certain types of waters. So if you don't have the correct rod, you will not be able to fish for, the fishes in those areas. And you can see on the right side, that's my current boat, and it indicates the catchable fish types. So you can see I'm able to catch a lot of different types right now because I have the right equipment. You can also buy different types of engines. Engines are important because the faster your engine, the further you can go in the same day and reach different parts of the map. So it's something that I kind of wanted to upgrade very soon in the game, because otherwise you're limited to a fairly small area and it becomes dangerous to travel far. Nets, not super important, but you can have some nets that bring you some passive income. As you move around, you are able to catch fishes just by moving around without actively fishing. But it's not that many either, so I would say it's relatively useless in the game right now. And then the lights. Lights are very important because at night, if you happen to be in the dark, they enable you to see around you a bit more. And if you don't have proper lights, the neat trick is that the game will not show you your surrounding very effectively, and suddenly you will see rocks appearing next to you at the last minute, and you will be hard to avoid them, even though they don't appear until you reach, just before, hitting them. So that's just the thing about the lights. So having good lights is also very important at night, otherwise you may damage your boat further, and then you have to repair it, cost money and so on. So at night, typically you sleep, unless you want to take some risk and fish at night. Then you can see there's a day and night cycle, and then you can start to move around again. Now, I have some crab traps, so I can use them to catch some particular crabs here and there. You can see here also this area has some kind of like strange like fume coming out of it. It means like those are potentially mutated fishes swimming here. So if you fish here, you can see here now I have a fish with like 3 heads, straight out from The Simpsons or something. So those typically can have more value or can be useful to complete some quests. You can see as I fish, you also have this space management. I have a fairly big herd right now, so I can actually store a lot of fishes, but at the beginning you don't have as much space as this. So you need to actually be careful as to how much you're storing there, and you have to use a different kind of shape to make it fit as much as possible. This is a crab net, so I can get the crabs here. The crab-like traps, they're interesting because they give you steady income without you doing anything, so you can move around and just like, once in a while come and check them out and get some crabs. But they get damaged over time, so every 3, 4, 5 days, depending on the quality of your trap, you have to pick them up and repair it. Doesn't cost that much, so it's still worth it in the end, but it's something that's additional work, basically additional chore you have to take care of. Let's say now I'm coming back there, so I'm going to show you one more time, I'm selling fishes, this kind of thing, and then I will probably show you like when I move around to a further part of the map, because it's going to be more interesting. I forgot to mention you have a dry dock where you can actually upgrade the hull and different parts of your boats. This is not mandatory, but it's highly recommended that you spend money and resources regularly to actually do that. And you can see when you're trying to do that, they ask you to gather some kind of parts. This is clothes, lumber, and then some like metal scraps that need to be put together to actually generate the new parts of the boat. And they will bring some new space or new like hooks that you can use for nets and so on. At this stage of the game, I'm already fairly advanced in the upgrades, so my boat is almost, I would say, complete in that sense, which makes it a lot more comfortable to actually move around and gather a lot of things. Now I'm gonna move. I'll show you like the map first. So you have this menu here where you can actually check where you're going, the different kind of quests you have left to do. And the quest, you unlock this quest by talking to people into different harbors you go to, or finding like messages in the sea, those kind of things. And then it gives you some fairly limited instructions, so it doesn't tell you exactly where you have to go or what you have to do. And that's, I think, what makes like Dredge interesting is like it doesn't hold your hand as much as a lot of I would say sandbox games nowadays, where they give you a GPS marker and you know exactly where you have to go and you know exactly what you have to do. There's actually no surprise anymore. Here, there's a lot of things that's not written. There's a lot of things like it's kind of ultimately you have to guess or to find a way to do it without, I would say, being given the right answer. And that's what makes it, I think, fairly interesting to play, because it's kind of a game of the 80s or 90s where things were mostly up to you and hardly like they were telling you exactly what's going to be your next steps. I think I'm repeating myself here, but I think that's what I like about Dredge a lot. It reminds me of those exploration-based games where you're left to freely explore and unveil the secrets of the world without having some exact missions to complete in specific order. There is some kind of order, so like typically you cannot do everything from the beginning either, but there's a lot there's a lot of I would say leeways to how you approach things. You can go in different parts of the world in different order, and you should still be able basically to complete a lot of things, even though it's not necessarily in the same order as you did before, for example. Alright. You see at this stage here, I have like basically unlock explosives. And explosives are useful to actually access new parts that were blocked by debris. And so that's something that becomes interesting at some point to unlock some additional areas. This is a kind of traveling fisherman or something. That different parts of the map, and that gives you access to the similar kind of services that you have into the regular harbor. And it's just, I would say, a nice way to upgrade your ship or, sell your fishes when there's no actually real turnaround, which happens in some places. So here, now I'm in this part of the map, I'll show you, on the Gale Cliffs. And so this one is a fairly normal part of the world. Interesting part of the world is on the other side. I will show you now maybe the Starlight Pontoon. I will sleep for now and show you what the other parts look like afterwards. Let's go now. Whoa! Always surprised by these kind of things. You can see there's like some ominous music that typically gives you some additional hints about, whether or not it's safe to venture around. Well, am I in the right direction? I'm not. Going around there, I guess. Yes, around there. Okay, so let's get around there. Of course, when you're traveling from one place to another, you can always decide to fish some stuff on the way. So it depends, I think, on how much time you have to go from one place to the next. If your boat is slow, has a slow engine, I don't recommend you start fishing, because fishing consumes times, and as you can see above, like the day and time cycles go fairly fast. So if you fish like 4 or 5 times, you use several hours in the day, and you may end up being in the dark before even reaching your destination, and this is where it becomes really dangerous. And you can die in the game, so if you're attacked by some strange monster, sea monster, during the night, it could be game over. It's not a really big deal because you can restart to the last checkpoint or in the last part where you saved. But it's something you have to keep in mind, and it's part of the game, like you're vulnerable. This part of the world here is fairly nice when you go at night because stuff is glowing inside the sea, and you will see something also. I want to show you something afterwards. Yeah, here you will see there's this huge like sea monster here. You can see the tentacles. Like this one is a really deadly one, and if you go there in the middle, they will kill you in a few seconds. So something you learn when you move in the area. In the beginning, maybe you didn't notice, and then suddenly, like, you're attacked from the bottom of the sea. Let me show you what it looks like at night. Here's pretty nice. This is at night. As I mentioned, you can see this area, things are glowing. It's important sometimes to also fish at night, because that's the time where you can only get some particular types of animals. This one is octopus. So you can see here, those ones are like special ones because the glowing octopus. And if you want to catch them, you basically have to venture out at night. And there's also this kind of strange one as well. Yeah. And you can see now the sea monster is fairly visible now here with its glowing lights at night. You can see tentacles very visible now. So This is more obvious now than it was before. So I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's some fairly large beasts moving at night around. That makes, let's say, your travels in the dark a lot more interesting and probably stressful as well. Yeah, you can talk to the merchant here and so on. Right. So night. Gonna look again now. Let me show you one more area, maybe the volcanic area. Here I'm avoiding on purpose the sea monster. Forgot to mention there's a lot of secrets in the game. There's some areas where nothing is marked on the map, but there's actual things to do in some places. So you're always, I would say, encouraged to look around and explore as well. There's also some kind of, I would say, Pokemon-like aspect to the game because, as you can see, there's a bunch of different fishes that you can get basically, and then the encyclopedia gives you like this list of fishes that are available and so on, and they're only browsable once you actually fish them once. So there's actually a bunch of them that you may not have fished. You can see here, and that's you are kind of encouraged to find. So if you like doing the completionist kind of thing, this game is also interesting in that aspect because it will force you to go and look for where are the last fishes that you haven't met. I mean, and caught yet. So now let's go to the volcanic islands. Here I'm back to the original harbor where you start the game. You also have these powers, that magical powers you can get at some points. I will not tell you how, because I don't want to give you any spoiler. But here I have basically this power that accelerates my boat significantly when I need it. It's fairly useful when you need to evade a sea monster who is rushing after you. So that's some very good skills to have when you unlock them. You can see here already the landscape looks very different, and as I will reach closer, you will see the weather, I think, and the sky will change in terms of color tones. You can start seeing it happening now. Minus also because it's becoming darker right now. Let me try to find a place where I can stop. There's the pontoon there. This area is one of the most dangerous ones because there's some kind of piranha kind of fishes that attack your boat when you are too close. So you're basically in danger, like even during the day here, just by looking around. So it's one place where you have to be very careful. It's probably one of maybe the end game of the game itself. It's probably around here, I would guess. Well, I haven't finished the game yet. These are the fishes. Money is kind of a problem at the beginning of the game because you don't have so many resources. But once you get to a hang of how to make money, it gets easier and easier. And after at some point you have more money than you can spend anyway. So it doesn't become so much of a problem. But I think the first maybe a few hours in the game you just like struggle to get by and upgrade your boat. And then afterwards you can progressively focus more on the adventure itself. Let me rest here and I'll show you what it looks like during the day in this area. Alright, you can see now the whole environment is reddish. And these red spots that are swirling very fast around here, those are the fishes that I mentioned that attack your boat. So you need to be as far from them as possible because they will not let go once they target you. So this area is full of like strange ruins. There's some kind of like cult going on around here, and so this is about trying to get some additional stuff in this area that will be useful in your quests while surviving. As you can see, I just wanted to give you a couple of examples. The areas look very different from one place to another, even though everything is on the same map. And so you get a very different vibe. Even the music changes, you can see, based on where you are. I think it's all very well done. I really like what they did here in Dredge. Like, it's obviously not a AAA game, but there's a great attention to detail, to the atmosphere, to making things look believable because of the fact that you move around and you go to different places that are actually have different story and different background. And that's it, I think. Of course, I've not finished the game yet, so it's hard for me to give a final recommendation. But I was just starting this beta like a couple of weeks ago, saying that looks interesting, but probably gonna play a few hours and then have some kind of short impressions. And it sucked me in. Like I spent more than 10 hours, which I did not intend in the first place. I really liked it, and I found it's very well done overall. And there's a lot of I would say one more turn kind of mechanics to it. Like you feel like, okay, yeah, I can spend another 5 minutes, and then you end up like playing like a few more hours easily, because you can see progress day after day into what you do, like whether it's making money, opening your boat, or like finishing some quests. And the exploration is always interesting as well, just like looking around, finding some stuff that you haven't seen before. And to be honest, like there's not so many like I would say boat or fishing focused games out there, so it's also fairly new in that sense that we really haven't seen these kind of games before. So I think that's it. I will stop here. I hope you liked it. I hope you will consider Dredge if that kind of game looks interesting to you. And it's going to be out, as I mentioned again, end of March. And just last thing I want to mention, it works perfectly on the Steam Deck. As is, I didn't have to do any kind of changes to the Proton version or anything. And it actually works very well even at low wattage. I think I'm doing at 4 or 5 watts on the deck, and it works at 60 FPS. So it's extremely playable on the Steam Deck for hours and hours. Alright, have a great day and talk to you again soon.